Hey there, everybody. I'm really excited because I was tagged in a KonMari tag set up by a young mom, and I'm so excited that TJ tagged me about participating in this Q&A. So these are my answers to the 10 questions that a young mom put together about the KonMari process. So her first question was, what's been your favorite part of the method so far? Well, I mean, it's life-changing. It really is. And it is spilled over in a lot of ways into other things, surprising some, and it probably has changed me in certain ways. It's given me sort of self permission to be more organized. I probably think that or have thought that people who were really organized were a little bit neurotic or something, and I'm just finding that, even though I work as an artist, I work as a creative person, I'm sort of, well, regardless of my feelings about being organized, I'm able to be organized because I just have less stuff around me. And so it makes a lot of processes easier to deal with. And I think they're continuing to get easier because I'm seeing things in a whole new light. The spark joy, it's a very positive thing and it changes everything. Question number 2, what has been your least favorite part of the method to date? Probably my least favorite part is the fact that it isn't magic. So I just said it was magic. I just said it was life-changing. I had a lot of travel recently, and so when I'm not here, everything just devolves into filth, and I guess I just have to let go. And I mean, I say this as if my house were always clean, and it's of course not, but I just get frustrated that the other members of my family have not embraced this fully. But it's an ongoing process. So the idea that you don't ever have to clean because you put things magically away isn't entirely true. However, having said that, here I'm doing this video right in front of my beautiful closet. And, I keep on showing this puppy off because it's just so beautiful, and it's really has been maintained. And, that's something that has, stood the test of time because I've been doing this since January of 2015. So we're going on 9 months. And so certain things have easily stood the test of time. But so for instance, my closet, only my husband and I use the closet. So nobody else can really mess this up. Question number 3 is, what was the hardest task you've completed? Photo organizing is still not completed. And also, there's stuff in my basement that I would like to go through, and so that hasn't happened either. What was the easiest task you've done? Well, I mean, I think Marie Kondo is really smart, because clothing was not hard. It really wasn't, and it was fun to go to an extreme I hadn't gone to before in terms of decluttering clothes, because I have decluttered clothes, and as I've said in some of my first videos, I was already on a path towards minimalism when I found out about the life-changing magic of tidying up and I read the book, but it resonated in a whole new way, as anybody who has done this process can probably attest to. 5, what surprised you the most about the method? Well, I mean, it's been surprising to see what a bestseller this book is, how much community has thrived on YouTube around it. And I'll give you a really fun example. So I'm a musician, and I had a show this weekend, and so I want to give a shout out to Tammy, who came to the show with her husband and a friend and that friend's husband, and they're all into KonMari. And so a surprising thing is, again, that spillover into other areas. It's also been a real pleasure to finally have some success, a modicum of success on YouTube. I guess I never really understood what it was like to do something that everybody was actually interested in. I sing a style of music that not all these people are interested in, and sometimes I read books that nobody's interested in, so I finally did something that everybody's interested in. So that's been a real pleasant surprise. Number 6, starting out, was it hard to let go of most items? And if so, why? Well, there are things that the problem is more, I think, well, I should sell this, or I should make money from this, or I should discard it appropriately. And of course, as with all decluttering, that's often, a process in its own right. So there are things And then there are things where it's true, like if you don't get it out of your house and out of your mind and out of your life, you do reconsider, and then that's, you know, that's how we end up with all kinds of things that we once said we were going to get rid of. So, for instance, my copper pans in the kitchen, I have a copper collection, and that I decided, you know what, let's let this go. I don't need the copper; it doesn't spark joy. Plus, I know that copper is valuable, and I had acquired these items at flea markets, one at a time. And so I shined them up and I put them on for sale on Craigslist, having done a little bit of research on Amazon and seeing that like one copper bowl, and I have a set of 3 copper bowls that I got at the flea market for a couple bucks. One large copper mixing bowl can go for like 80 bucks on Amazon. So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm sitting on a gold mine. Well, my Craigslist ad ended up pulling in a lot of kind of weird requests, and what I realized from another YouTuber called Craigslist Picker is that these people were going to buy my copper and resell it on eBay. So, okay, so my jewelry and my copper are things that I would like to get money for, I think, and so those things I need to sell them on eBay, and I still haven't started eBay. I've started it a little bit, but then I haven't put anything for sale on eBay. So, and now, but then to finish the story, the copper, I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is kind of pretty, you know, and maybe I'm gonna rehang it on this other wall in the kitchen and see how it looks. So that's something that if I had gotten it right out of the house right then and there, you know, I wouldn't have even been thinking about it. But now I'm kind of like, oh yeah, okay. So that's an example that I think is common, right, with decluttering, is reconsidering things and going, oh yeah, maybe I'm gonna keep this. Okay, what was the most difficult items you've purged? I don't think anything's been difficult. Like I said, it's just things, you know, there are moments, I don't really have any regret even. There have been a few times, like recently, I just bought these new boots at Ross, and they're so cute. And then I was like, oh, did I get rid of my skinny pants, my skinny jeans? But thankfully I didn't. No regrets. And like I said, anything that I've gotten rid of, because you're doing the proper method, which is, first of all, gathering all your stuff, realizing how much of one particular type of thing you have, and then, you know, holding each thing and asking the question. I think that's a really genius way to do it. And then again, really kind of looking into yourself and asking the question, does it give me joy? As I've said a million times, it's a very positive way to do it. And so it's not about cutting back, and it's not about restricting yourself. It's really just going, oh, does this make me happy? And the answers are surprising. You know, something that gives me joy, and I see it all the time, my grandmother gave us some hanging utensils in the kitchen. And every time I see those hanging utensils, it's so funny. Like there's pictures and there's mementos, and yet the thing that sparks joy and it reminds me of my grandmother every time I see it is these hanging utensils. Actually, that kind of choked me up a little bit right now. Where am I in the process? This is question number 8. Okay. And how much time has it taken me to work up to this point? Well, as I said, so it's been about 9 months. And I mean, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to be done in 6 months, like KonMari says. The honest truth is I've got this whole basement area that it would be, I kind of have a dream. And this YouTube experience and the support has given me an exciting window into a dream, which would be to kind of have you guys come along with me as I finally remodel. It's not a man cave. It's a man dungeon. It's disgusting. And I truly would love to have our basement done. And so that's a little bit of KonMari, and then it's a little bit of remodeling, or a lot of remodeling. So where am I in the point? Okay, so the photos are mostly gone through, but some, they need to be put away, and I'm still indecisive about going between albums or a container store box. So the photos has been a little bit of a drag, but I've done a lot with the photos, and I probably have to do another update video, wrap-up video on photos. I'm very impressed with a young mom and how detailed she has been, and in fact, I need to look at some of her videos, like outdoor equipment and things like that. And and the digital. Oh my goodness, I'm really interested in that, the digital decluttering. Question 9. What are some KonMari tips or advice you can share? Enjoy it. Have fun with it. That's the whole point. The whole point is gratitude, and it's a brain hack. I mean, I'm really into these mind hacks. I think we're living in an exciting time now where knowledge is so easily shared and we're able to see how other people live, in new ways. I mean, we always could do it through literature and through, you know, physical, means, but now I think we're getting some real insights into philosophies. Sometimes they're ancient. I mean, some of the philosophies of gratitude and mindfulness and things like that, these are ancient philosophies. Um, but I think that, a simple hack of going, does this spark joy? It actually changes your thinking and then makes you realize, how little you really do need. And also, they're just things. I mean, right now in California, we're having terrible wildfires. And, a lot of people are just like, if you survived, that's the important thing. The house burned down, it's just things. Number 10, who do I tag? I'm going to tag Lightly Lumay and the Minimalist Sparrow. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I really appreciated being tagged. It's a first for me, and I appreciate all of the subscriptions and the support. I love the real world interaction. I love the fact that people who learned about KonMari folding and KonMari in the kitchen and all the various videos that I've done, I love the fact that they came to my show. That's really fun. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. Let me know how you're doing in the process and what you think of my big hairy goal of remodeling my dungeon. Bye-bye.